We begin today the Gemara, the very end of Daf Nun Gimel Amud Beis, the last two words, Amarav. So the Gemara here is in the middle of a sugya discussing Rab Meir's opinion regarding someone that used from hektish money for Kidushin. So in the Mishnah on Daf Nun Beis, there was a machlokes between Rab Meir and Rab Yehuda about this. Rab Meir's opinion is that when you're Mekadesh Isha with hektish money b'mezid, so the Kidushin takes effect. Only b'shoigig, he says, the Kidushin does not take effect. So the explanation the Gemara brought before from Rabbi Yochanan, what Rabbi Meir is saying is that when you use hektish money b'mezid, he knows it's hektish money and he's being moyel in it. So then it becomes the money by being moyel in it becomes chulin. So therefore now if it's used for Kidushin, so the Kidushin takes effect. But b'shoigig, there's no me'ilah. The whole thing is a toss. He didn't realize that this is money that belonged to hektish, and he doesn't want to use it. He doesn't want it to be mischalel. So therefore, the me'ilah does not take effect. The money does not become chulin. So the whole Kidushin is a toss. The Kidushin never takes effect. And the Gemara actually said that this halacha is not only regarding Kidushin. A similar halacha will also be regarding a person that used money for a sale or to buy something, hektish money that is. And there's no me'ilah in such a case because the person didn't realize it's hektish money and he wasn't interested in paying with this hektish money. So it's not mischalel, the me'ilah does not take effect, and the transaction also, the mecher, is not kaina. Just like the Kidushin in the Mishnah, Rabbi Meir says you're not kaina. Similar will be regarding using this money for buying something. Which basically then means that according to Rabbi Meir, anytime you use hektish money, b'shoigig, not realizing that this is hektish, the me'ilah does not take effect. It does not go out to become chulin. What you try to accomplish with it, whether Kidushin, whether mecher, does not take effect at all. And as Rashi pointed out before, and the Gemara is going to say this, we'll learn this today here on Daf Nun Daled Amud Beis, that according to this pshat of Rabbi Yochanan, the only time when there can be me'ilah b'shoigig is if you ate it, or if you had anah in it in any way where you consumed it or destroyed it. But if the thing is still here, you just try to use it for Kiddushin or a sale, it didn't take effect, and therefore the me'ilah wasn't a me'ilah. Okay, this is Rabbi Meir's opinion. Now Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah disagrees with this. Rabbi Yehuda says that b'shoigig, the Kiddushin takes effect. Rabbi Yehuda holds that there is me'ilah b'shoigig. And b'mezid, the Kidushin does not take effect because by b'mezid there is no halacha of me'ilah. If you use something from hektish, b'mezid, the money remains hektish, and therefore the Kidushin does not take effect. Now here the Gemara is going to bring another pshat that argues with Rabbi Yochanan regarding Rabbi Meir's opinion. Sagt the Gemara, Amar Rav. So Rav said, Chazarnu al kol zdadim shel Rabbi Meir. We looked in different places where Rabbi Meir spoke about the subject of using hektish money b'shoigig, and v'loi matzinu, we never found, like the pshat that Rabbi Yochanan said, that b'shoigig ein mischalel, that if you use hektish money b'shoigig, that because you didn't want to use it, so what he used it for did not take effect, and the money is still here, and his money remains hektish. But b'mezid mischalel, only if you use it b'mezid, then the me'ilah takes effect, and it leaves the status of hektish. This distinction we never found. And really, he says, Rabbi Meir really holds that just like b'mezid, the me'ilah takes effect and it becomes chulin, the same as b'shoigig also. That if you use it, even if you didn't realize, the very fact that he tried to use it for a sale or whatever it is, it becomes chulin. That's Rabbi Meir's opinion. And therefore here regarding Kidushin, the Kidushin should take effect. Now, Mishnah Seino, so in our Mishnah, where Rabbi Meir says that if you use the money of hektish b'shoigig, the Kidushin does not take effect. Why is that? Because nois kohune shaloi bolu. We're talking over here about the garment of the kohen that he's wearing, and these are garments that are still usable. It didn't get ruined, and he could still wear it. And over here, the halacha will be that if you used it b'shoigig for Kiddushin, that the Kiddushin will not take effect. And the Gemara will explain why this is different, why the garments of a kohen are different. The svara here is as follows. Hayol v'nitnu lahanis behen. The garments were made for the kohen to wear during the Aveda. He wears them, and he has the benefit of the wearing them. And now, you would say maybe he should only be wearing them at the time when he does the Aveda. The moment that he stops, he has to remove it immediately. Says the Gemara, but the Torah was not given to angels that he should have to remove it immediately and not have another second of anah after he finished his Aveda. So therefore, even if it remains on him after he finished the Aveda, there's no me'ilah with this because it was given as garments to wear and we can't expect him to take it off right away. So that's the chatchila. It became hektish. These garments are holy with this intention that he should be allowed to have anah from it and wear it even after he's done his Aveda. So now, what Rab Meir holds is, just like we see regarding these garments, that if he continues wearing it after he's done the Aveda, that there's no me'ilah. Similar, if he's also going to use it for something else, to be Mekadosh Isha, also there'll be no me'ilah. Just like over here, where he should be taking it off right after the Aveda, but he continued wearing it, we say that it's Leinit Malachi Asharis. So Rab Meir compares and says, similar for any other thing that you would use it for, B'Shaygig, there would be no me'ilah. That's the Pshat in the Mishnah when Rab Meir says that there's no me'ilah when you Mekadosh B'Shaygig, and therefore the Kidushin will not take effect. Because if there's no me'ilah, that means that the garment still remains in the Rishus of Hektish. So you can't be Mekadosh the Isha with this. That's Rav's Pshat, according to Rab Meir. But otherwise, by any other Hektish, Rab Meir would agree that the me'ilah, B'Shaygig, does take it out of the possession of Hektish. It becomes Chulin, and the Kidushin would take effect. It's Dafke here, by Kosnis Kono. This is an exception. So the Gemara here will ask now a few questions on Rav's Pshat according to Rab Meir. Toshima says Nabraise Kosnes Kohuna Shabolu. The garments of the Kayin that became already not wearable, Mayol and Behem, they're still Me'il in them. They still have a Kidushin in them. Divri Rab Meir. This is Rab Meir's opinion. So here, this is Rab Meir speaking. So the Gemara says, My love, don't you think, what does it mean here when it says Bolu? Don't you think that this Braisa is saying, needless to say, that if this is garments that are still wearable for the Aveda, for sure it still has its Kedusha and Me'ilah applies to this. It's adding, even if Balu, even though it's not wearable anymore, nevertheless, the Me'ilah does apply as well. But we see here, even though these are garments that the Kayin wears, and Leinitna Teira L'Malachi Asharis, nevertheless, Rab Meir says there is Me'ilah here. So how could Rav say this svara of Leinitna Teira L'Malachi Asharis that there's no Me'ilah? So the Gemara says, Loi Balu Dafka. The Braisa said only Balu, and this is like what Rav said, that as long as it's wearable, then we say that because the Kayin continues wearing it after he does the Aveda, so if he uses it for something else, B'Shaygig, there's also no Me'ilah. But if it's Balu, if it already is not wearable, so then that reason doesn't apply, and therefore the Me'ilah B'Shaygig will apply to this garment. Toshama, the Gemara brings another ayah, and here this Braisa speaks about the Machzis HaShekel in the Beis HaMikdash. As Rashi here brings the details, that in the Beis HaMikdash you had these two shofris, which were the places where they put in the money that was given for Machzis HaShekel. There was one that was designated for the Machzis HaShekel that people gave for this year to be used. These Machzis HaShekel were then used for the Karbanis that were brought, the Karbanis Sibur, the Karban Tabit, and so on, that were brought for that year. But people that did not give yet the Machzis HaShekel for the previous year, they had a separate shofar, a separate place where they put in the Machzis HaShekel over there as well to make up for missing from the previous year. Those Machzis HaShekel from the previous year was not used for the Karbanis of the year. It was used for something else, as we'll see over here. Let's see. So, Mayalim b'chadetin. So, if someone went and took from chadetin, which are the new Machzis HaShekel that are going to be used for the Karbanis of this year, so you moil in that, because this is designated for the Karbanis of this year. So it has the status of hektish for the Karbanis. But ve'ei moilim batikim. But with the old Machzis HaShekel, meaning people that came and donated and placed into the other shofar, Machzis HaShekel for the previous year, and someone was moil in that, there's no meil in that. Okay, we'll see soon the explanation what the difference is. Rab Meir says, moilin af batikim, that you moil even if you use from the old Machzis HaShekel. Why? Shahai Rab Meir said, Moilim b'shiyarei halishka, that Me'ilah applies even by the leftovers of the lishka, which is this old Machzis HaShekel from the previous year that's not going to be used anymore for the Karbanis, so it's leftovers. Still, Me'ilah applies over here to this as well. Now, what were these Machzis HaShekel used from the previous year? So as we'll see here in the Gemara, they were used to build the walls of the city of Yerushalayim and different things that they needed to get done in the city of Yerushalayim. That's the Shiyarei Halishka, the leftovers. Now, those things that are used for the city of Yerushalayim, so the Tanakami here says there can't be any mi'ila for that, because that's something that's just used for the city, for people that live there, and that's not for the karbanis. So on that, there's no mi'ila. But Rab Meir, though, is saying that there is mi'ila even with the Shiyarei Alishka, even though this is a fund now, these monies here of the old Machtas HaShekel will be used for building them things in the city of Yerushalayim. Still has the status of hektish. So now on this, the Gemara asks, so this is a question on the point that Rav said, Vamai, why are you moil here in what's here in the Shiyarei Alishka from the old Machtas HaShekel? Name, shouldn't we say the same svara as Rav said before, according to Rab Meir, regarding the garments of the Kohen? Since that the money of the Shiyarei Alishka is something that you derive benefit from it, it's used for the building, for the walls and this and so on for the city of Yerushalayim. So if so, you can't expect that people shouldn't have any anah from this. If there's the wall and there's the shade of the wall and a person will not sit in the shade of the wall or he won't have any anah from this, you can't expect that. So what do they do with this shirayim of the extra Machtas HaShekel, that's the old Machtas HaShekel? It was used for the walls of the city. The Tnan, as it says in the Mishnah, Chayma Seir and Migdal Yisrael, the walls of the city and the other things that they had to build in the city, V'chol Tzarkei Yair, and all the other names of the city of Yerushalayim, but Shiyarei Alishka. They came from Shiyarei Alishka. Okay, so according to Rab Meir, there should be no issue over here. If Rab Meir says regarding the garments, just like we can't expect the Kohen to take it off immediately after the Aveda, so to any other type of use is not going to be Me'ila. The same should be with this Shiyarei Alishka that's used to build things in the city. So if for certain things it's used for the city, so any use, any kind of use that a person has from this there should not be any Me'ila at all. It says the Gemara, Lo Teimer Rab Meir. This is not Rab Meir. Rather, Ela Eimer Rab Yehuda. It's Rab Yehuda. It's Rab Yehuda the one that said that you moil even in the old Machtas HaShekel that you built in the city for this. And this is Rab Yehuda's shitta, and here as Rashi explains, this is the main point here that Rab Yehuda argues on Rab Meir. Rab Yehuda also holds this idea of Lenitna Teira Malachi Yesharis, going back to the case of the garments that the Kohen wears. But that's only a reason why there should be no me'ila regarding the Kohen, regarding the garments. When he wears them, if he wears them an extra minute and he doesn't take it off immediately after the Aveda. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, that doesn't mean that now if the Kohen went and used these garments to be Mekadesh Isha, that by extension there won't be me'ila for that either. It's only regarding wearing it, but not for any other use. Similar over here regarding the city. That's true over here regarding the city. We say that this is from the Shiyarei Alishka. We use it to build for the city, and there's certain things that are impossible for a person to be careful with. That he shouldn't sit in the shade of the wall and so on. True, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have any status of hektish at all, and you can be moil and use the Shiyarei Alishka for whatever you want, for Kidushin or for any other private use. For that, there still will be meila. That's the opinion of the Yehuda that he argues, not of Meir. So the Gemara now brings from another brayse, Toshema, the Tanya, Amar Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yitzchak, Avnei Yerushalayim shenoshru. Stones that is from the walls of the city of Yerushalayim that came out. There is Mila in these stones. Divrei Rab Meir. This is again Rab Meir speaking. So here we clearly see that from the stones of the wall of Yerushalayim, even though this is something that is designated for use, that's similar to the garments, it's just the walls of the city, and nevertheless, there's me'ila in them. Even though it's impossible to be careful with it, it's part of the wall, which people have a gnaw from. But nevertheless, we see that there is me'ila for this. Says the Gemara, Eloi Teimer Rab Meir. Again, the Gemara says this is really not supposed to be Rab Meir, Eloi Eimer Rab Yehuda. This is Rab Yehuda. The Gemara now asks on this, Rab Yehuda, if you're telling me that this is Rab Yehuda, Yerushalayim mi mekacha. Does Rab Yehuda hold that the stones of the walls of the city of Yerushalayim have any kedusha to them, that there should be meila in this? But Vatnam, we learned in the Mishnah in Nedarim regarding a person that makes a neder. Now, when a person makes a neder, one of the ways to make a neder is when you have an object and you say, this object should be asa to me like something else which is asa. If the person said, Ke'imra, that this should be asa like the barn of animals that are designated for hektish, or kedirim, Or Kimra actually refers to one lamb, like this lamb that's for the carbon tamid. Kedirim is like the barns of the animal that's designated for the karbanis. Ke'etzim, this object should be also to me like the wood for the karbanis. Ke'ishim, like the fire of the karbanis. Keheichel, like the heichel of the Beis Hamikdash. Kemizbeach, or like the mizbeach. Yerushalayim, like Yerushalayim. So in all these cases, the neder takes effect because he was matfis the neder. He brings the kedusha, or he compares the kedusha from something that has kedusha on it, and now this item also becomes also like it. That's how the neder takes effect. Rabbi Yehuda, however, Rabbi Yehuda says, Yerushalayim lo yamaklom. If the person said that it should be like Yerushalayim, he didn't say anything, there's no neder here. So seemingly what Rabbi Yehuda is saying is because Yerushalayim has no kedusha. So how can we say that before the Braisa that said that if you took a stone from Yerushalayim and you have a nov from it, that there is Me'ilah here, and it's not Rabbi Meir speaking, it's Rabbi Yehuda, but Rabbi Yehuda clearly says that for Yerushalayim there's no Me'ilah. So the Gemara says, if you'll argue and say that it's really in the language here, there's a technicality in the language, really Yerushalayim has Kedusha, but Mishum Deli Oma Ke Yerushalayim. What Rabbi Yehuda is saying is, if you would only say Yerushalayim, and he didn't say it, that it should be like Yerushalayim, then in his language he didn't make it clear that he's saying that it should be like Yerushalayim, so there will not be any Me'ilah. That's the only issue. But the Gemara says, but we learned in a different brayse, v'hatanya, Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Yehuda says, Kala'imek, Yerushalayim, loy omar klum. If you say that this object should be like Yerushalayim, you said nothing. At sheyider b'dava hakorev Yerushalayim. The net has to be with something that is brought as a carbon in Yerushalayim. It's not enough just to say Ke Yerushalayim. So even Ke Yerushalayim is also not anything because, again, the point is there's no Kedusha to Yerushalayim. So how can we say that the brayse before is Rabbi Yehuda? One of the answers to this, no, we still are going to say that is Rabbi Yehuda, but Trei, Tanoi, Ninu, Valibed Rabbi Yehuda. There are two different Tanoim here that are arguing what Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is. According to one man, Amar, there is hektish in an item from Yerushalayim, and the stone from Yerushalayim, and therefore if you take that stone, you'll be moil in it. And then the other man Dami here, as we see here, the Mishnah in the Darim says that according to Rabbi Yehuda, there's no Me'ilah in anything from Yerushalayim. As we see, you can't make a neder from a stone or from any object of Yerushalayim or to be like Yerushalayim because Yerushalayim has no hektish to it, has no kedusha to it at all. Okay, this is all the discussion regarding Rav's opinion explaining Rab Meir. Now the Gemara comes back and brings other Amoraim that actually agree to Rabbi Yochanan's opinion in the Pshat of Rab Meir. Again, what was Rabbi Yochanan's Pshat as it began today? Rabbi Yochanan says that according to Rab Meir, when you use hektish, money from hektish, b'sheigig, there's no me'ilah. Because it was a mistake, you didn't realize, and the money is still here, and you didn't want to use it for this, so it didn't take effect. Now the Kidushin took effect, or if it was a sale, you bought something, it didn't take effect either. So therefore there's no Me'ilah here, and therefore there's no Kidushin. So Ula said in the name of Bar Pada, Rab Meir would say, Hektish b'mezid mischalal. When you use hektish, money of hektish, so b'mezid, you knew it was hektish, so then the fact that you used it takes it out of the possession of hektish, and this is Me'ilah. But b'sheigig ein mischalal. If you use it b'sheigig, it was a mistake, you didn't know, so you didn't want it to go out of hektish, the chilul, it does not go out of the rishus of hektish, and the Kidushin would not take effect. That's the hasber of Rab Meir's opinion, not like Rav that said that this is only by the garments of the Kohen. Now according to this version here, Bar Pada continued and said, V'loi amru b'sheigig mischalal, and it wasn't said that when you use money from hektish, b'sheigig, that it would go out of the rishus of hektish, that the me'ilah does take effect, elo le'inyan carbon muvad. This is only regarding the fact that the person that does this will be obligated to bring a carbon me'ilah, but not regarding the item itself, the money itself. It does not go out of the rishus of hektish. But the Gemara immediately refutes this pshat. V'chimi achar, the aim is chalel carbon b'mayim mechayev. If it does not go out from the rishus of hektish, which means that there's no din of me'ilah here. So then what does this mean? That you have to bring a carbon for something which what you didn't even take effect. It's still hektish. You weren't moil in the sense that you didn't take it out of hektish. So why should there be a carbon for this? Elo ki asa Ravin, so therefore when Ravin came, so Ravin quoted and said that what Bar Pada said differently. Parish, Mishmei de Bar Pada, he explained in the name of Bar Pada that Oy Mahaya Rab Meir, that Rab Meir said, Hektish b'mezid mischal. Use money from Hektish b'mezid, you know what you're doing, so that takes it out of Hektish. B'sheigig, however, sorry, If it was b'sheigig and you didn't realize, so now this is a toss. You didn't want to do this. You didn't want to take it out of hektish. The kinyan didn't take effect. The Kidushin didn't take effect. Ei mischalel. So over here, it does not go out of the reshus of hektish. V'loi omru. Here comes the point that I mentioned in the beginning. V'loi omru b'sheigig mischalel el l'inyan achila b'lvad. When do you say that if you use something from hektish b'sheigig, that the me'ilah takes effect and it goes out of the reshus of hektish? That's only if you consumed it. If you had a gnaw of it in a way that you ate it and it's gone. Or Rashi says, or let's say it would be a candle that you lit and you had a gnaw of it where it's kilui, that it's gone, it's not here anymore. Sorry, that's a kind of me'ilah, even b'sheigig. It doesn't matter if you knew, if you didn't know. The fact is that you consumed it, you destroyed it, it's gone. So this will be a me'ilah. You took it out of the reshus hektish, and then you'll have to bring a carbon for it, and so on. That's only achila or something similar. That's what it says in Rashi here. But there are the Taisvis here and other Rishayim disagree and say that achila doesn't mean dafk is something which there was a hana that mamish destroyed it. The point that the Gemara is trying to say is that when you use it for a Kidushin or for a mecher, so you're not mamish having hana from the guf hadavar of the hektish. Achila is an example where you're having hana from the guf hadavar, even if it's not mamish kilu, even if it's not mamish destroyed. Taisvis and the Rishonim bring a lot of rayas from other places in Shas where we see that Rav Meir holds that there will be a me'ilah in such a type of case. Okay, so now the Gemara comes back, and here the Gemara will tell us the psakt in regarding the machlokes between Rav Meir and Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah. Now there was actually machlokes between Rav Meir and Rabbi Yehuda regarding being mekadesh isha with ma'aser sheni, and regarding being mekadesh isha with money from hektish. So here the Gemara brings the psakt in. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rav Ada bar Rava, halacha k'Rav Meir b'maiser. The halach is like Rav Meir regarding maiser. So Rav Meir's opinion was the mekadesh isha with maiser, the Kidushin will never take effect because maiser belongs to the Eibusher. It's mammon gavaya. You have to come to Yerushalayim and eat it, but it's not yours for anything else. Hayil v'sasam l'tanik kavasei. Because as we'll see, there's a stam mishnah that says like Rav Meir. And halacha k'Rav Yehuda b'hektish, and we pass like Rav Yehuda regarding hektish, that b'sheigig, what happens is if you use it from hektish, it goes out from the reshus of hektish. The me'ilah takes effect, and therefore the Kidushin now could take effect because it left the reshus of hektish. But by b'mezid, the Kidushin will not take effect, because if you use something b'mezid from hektish, there's no din of me'ilah. That's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, and that's how we always pass, and that's what we always find regarding me'ilah, that it only leaves the reshus of hektish if it's b'sheigig, not if it's b'mezid. Because as we'll see, there's a stam mishnah like this opinion of Rabbi Yehuda as well. And the Gemara here now will bring the sources for this. Where do we see the source in the mishnah like Rab Meir regarding ma'aser sheni? That ma'aser sheni is mammon gavaya. It's not yours to use for anything other than to eat it in Yerushalayim. We learned in the Mishnah the halacha regarding kerem revai. This is a vineyard in the 4th year. You're supposed to bring it to Yerushalayim and eat it there, similar to ma'aser sheni. And we actually learn it out from ma'aser sheni, as we'll see. So there's a machlokes here in this Mishnah regarding kerem revai. Beis Shammai say ein lo chomish. When you redeem it to bring it to Yerushalayim, you don't have to add a 5th, similar to what you do by ma'aser sheni. And also the halacha regarding Maiseris Trumas and Maiseris in the 3rd year of Shemitah or the 6th year, you have to empty your house from everything. Biarti HaKodesh Min Abayis. This is only regarding Maiseris, Kisachala La'aser, but it doesn't include Kerem Revai. Beis Hillel Laimerem, Yeshlei. Beis Hillel say, then they learn it out, as we'll see soon, the Gzeir Shava, that no, both of these halachas do apply to Kerem Revai just like Maiser. Another argument here, Beis Shammai say, Yeshloi Peret v'Yeshloi Eilulis. Regarding the grapes that grow, so there's a halach of Peret and Eilulis. Peret is when it falls, when you're picking, and there's two that fall, so that belongs to the poor people. And Eilulis is the grapes that don't grow the way grapes usually grow in bunches, like with a shoulder, with the way it comes out, but it just like grows in one straight line. So Beis Shammai says that you're obligated to give these things to the poor people from the grapes of the 4th year, Kerem Revai. Beis Hillel say, no, Kulei Lagas. You take it, you eat it in Yerushalayim, you can take it for yourself and press and make wine from it. And you don't, over here, the halach of giving to the poor people does not apply. Okay, so the Gemara now will explain the machlokes of Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai, and here we'll see why we have here a stam mishnah like Rab Meir. So my time in the Beis Hillel, what's the source of Beis Hillel? In the first halacha here, that they say that the same halacha that applies by Maisris, that you have to redeem and give a chaimish, and there's a din of biur, it applies to Kerem Revai as well. Gamri, Kaidish, mi Meiser. They learn on Gzeira Shava. It says by Neta Revai that Kol Pir Kaidish Ilulim, and it says by Meiser as well that it's Kaidish Lashem. So we compare the two and say, Ma Meiser yesh lechaimish yesh lebir, Av Kerem Revai yesh lechaimish yesh lebir. These two halachas of giving the chaimish and also being mevayet from the house apply. Beishamai loy gamri kaidish. Beishamai did not have this tradition of this Gzeira Shava. He doesn't hold of it, so we don't compare. Mimaiser. Ubeis Hillel oimrim kemaiser, and then now the Gemara says that Beis Hillel says that it's like maiser, right? So this brings us here now to the second halacha that it said in the Mishnah, that now the Beis Hillel said that it's like maiser. What did Beis Hillel say afterwards in this Mishnah? That you can take it and use the whole thing for yourself. The halacha of giving peret and oilus, which belongs usually to the poor people, does not apply here. And the reason is because the Kerem Revai is like meiser, and by meiser, this halacha of peret and oilus to give for the poor people doesn't apply. Says the Gemara, na kaman svir lahu. So according to who does Beis Hillel hold when he says this? Ik Rab Yehuda, if when he compares the neta Revai to meiser, he holds like Rabbi Yehuda regarding the status of Ma'aser Sheni. What's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion regarding Ma'aser Sheni? That Ma'aser Sheni is mom and hedyet. It's yours. It's yours to eat, and it's yours to have enough from it, whatever you want. So my kol legas. Why is Beis Hillel saying when we compare net to Revai, that is to Ma'aser, that the halacha of peret and oilus does not apply? You can press the wine and eat it and drink it in Yerushalayim all for yourself. Ha'ama Ma'aser mom and hedyet too. Maisa is mom and hedyet, so the halachas, if it's yours, then the halacha of giving peret and oilus should apply by Ma'aser Sheni and also by Neta Revai. Elalav Karab Meir. It must be that he holds like Rab Meir, which says that the money of Ma'aser Sheni is mammon, or the produce is Ma'aser mammon gavoya. And the same thing is with the Neta Revai. It's mammon gavoya, belongs to the Eibishter. You have to eat it or drink the wine in Yerushalayim. But then therefore there's no chiyuv to give anything for the poor people, the peret and the oilus. So here we see a Stam Mishnah like Rab Meir. So Rashi says, even though it's not exactly a Stam Mishnah, but because this is the opinion of Beis Hillel, and we always paskin like Beis Hillel, this is considered to be like a Stam Mishnah, where we see that Beis Hillel is saying the same halacha like Rab Meir, that both Ma'aser Sheni and Neta Revai is considered to be mammon gavoya. Now, Rabbi Yehuda back to Shmaihi, where do you see like Rabbi Yehuda's opinion regarding hektish, that when you use money for hektish, of hektish that is, for something mundane, and there was a mistake for a transaction, that there is mi'ila for this. Again, Rabbi Meir held in such a case, there's no mi'ila. It's a mistake, and it never went out of hektish, nothing took effect. Rabbi Yehuda holds there is mi'ila. So where do we see this? Ma'ahi, that now we learned in the Mishnah, shilach biyad pekeyach. Person sent the gizbar from the hektish, sent money from hektish in the hands of another person that has das, he's a pekeyach. And he remembered before he came to the storekeeper to buy with this money that the mishaleach, the gizbar, sent him. So the mishaleach remembered that this is money of hektish, and now he's amazed. He knows that it's hektish. And as Rashi says, the Gemara there in Me'ila explains that the shliach himself also realizes that it's money from hektish. So now, but the chenveni is a shaygig, and he does not know. So chenveni mal, this chenveni, which is a shaygig by him, so he is going to be mile, because the halacha of meila, according to Rabbi Yehuda, as mentioned before, applies only when it was done b'shaygig. Then it goes out from the rishus hektish, and then you chayiv in the carbon meila, and so on. So here we clearly see that the ones that were b'mezid, which is both the gizbar and the shliach, which is a pekeyach, for them there's no meila. But the chenveni, which is a shaygig, and use this money, even though the money's still here, didn't consume the money, didn't eat it, the money is still here, and it's really, the whole thing was a toss that he used it. He didn't realize it was hektish, but nevertheless the meila takes effect, and mal, he has to bring a carbon and so on. So we clearly see, like Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, that there is meila for shaygig. But now the Gemara asks on this. So we had a Stam Mishnah, like Rab Meir, regarding Ma'aser Sheni. We learned it out from Kerem Revai. And then we had a Stam Mishnah regarding hektish, according to Rabbi Yehuda. But the Gemara asks that this L'chayre is another Stam Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda b'Ma'aser milaitnan. Don't we have a Stam Mishnah that says, like Rabbi Yehuda, regarding Ma'aser, that Ma'aser is actually mom and hedyet, that it is your money? Because it says in the Mishnah, "Vatnan hapaide ma'aser sheni shaloi," a person that redeems his own ma'aser sheni. The halacha is ma'aser of chamishisai. You have to add a fifth for this. That's what it says in the pasuk. Chamishis, you have to add a fifth. V'yosav chamishis kesef erkechalov. Bein now the Mishnah here that is mentions and adds bein mishaloi bein shenit lo b'matana. This halacha that if it's yours, you have to add a fifth. That's whether it was your produce, grew in your property, or whether this is ma'aser sheni that someone else gave you as a gift. In both cases, it's now yours, so you have to give, when you redeem this, to bring to Yerushalayim just the money, you have to add a fifth. So the Gemara asks, what's going on over here? When exactly did you get this as a gift? How did you get this as a gift? So Mani, who's this Mishnah? Rab Meir. If this Mishnah would be following Rab Meir's opinion, that is, mi motzi yavle b'matana. Ma'aser sheni, do you have an ability to give it as a gift to someone else? But Rab Meir holds ma'aser sheni cannot be used for anything. You can't give it as a gift for anyone. It's yours to eat in Yerushalayim, that's it. But otherwise, you can't do anything with it. Elalav Rabbi Yehuda. So this must be Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda over here is saying that's what the Mishnah is saying, that it was given as a gift because Rabbi Yehuda holds it's mom and hedyet, and you can give it as a gift. So we have a stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda as well. Says the Gemara, that's not the pshat here. Lo'olam Rab Meir. This time Mishnah is Rab Meir. What are we talking about over here? Kagain the yav ne'alei betivlei. It was given as a gift to this person. The produce was given as a gift before the ma'aser was separated. And the Gemara adds another detail. L'kisavar, and the Tana of this Mishnah holds matanis shaloi hormu kimi shaloi hormu damyan. When you have produce which is tevel, meaning that the mice has to be given, it wasn't separated yet. Because it wasn't separated, we don't say that it's considered that there's mice mixed inside of it here, and therefore this is something you can't give a gift to someone else. It's loy hormu, there's no concept of mice here yet at all, and therefore you're able to give this as a gift to your friend, and then afterwards, when he separates the ma'aser sheni, it's his ma'aser sheni, and when he redeems it, because it's his, he has to give a fifth. If it would be someone else, the halach is you don't give a gift, but if it belongs to someone else, that is, you don't give a fifth. But over here, because it belongs to him, you have to give a fifth. So therefore, this has nothing to do, this is no raya over here, like the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, because this was given as a gift before the ma'aser sheni was even separated. Toshama, but the Gemara brings another place, another Mishnah where we clearly see, like Rabbi Yehuda, that says that ma'aser sheni is mom and hedyet. Hapaida, Mishnah says, Hapaida netarevai shaloi, person that redeems is netarevai. So again, this is netarevai, the fourth year, it has to be brought to Yerushalayim, the produce, to eat there. So he redeems it in order to bring the money to Yerushalayim. Ma'isuf alav chamishisa, you have to add a fifth. And this is actually going according to the Gzeira Shaveh that we still brought before. Where do you see by netarevai that you have to add a fifth? It doesn't say it clearly there. It's learned out from ma'aser sheni, where there the Torah says if you're redeeming your own, you have to give a fifth. Add a fifth when you redeem. The same is by netarevai. And here again, the Mishnah that it says the same point. Mei mishaloi, mishnit lo b'matana. Whether this is your own netarevai or whether it was given to you as a gift. So again, here the Gemara asks, Mani, who is this Mishnah going according to? Ilay Rab Meir. If this is Rab Meir, mi motzi yavle. Can another person give you the netarevai as a gift? V'hagamri kaidish mi meiser. We're comparing a Gzeira Shaveh to meiser. The whole fact that you have to even add a fifth is because of the Gzeira Shaveh to meiser. So if Rab Meir holds regarding meiser that it's mom and kaidish and you can't give it as a gift, netarevai has the same status as meiser. It's mom and kaidish and you can't give it as a gift. Elalav Rabbi Yehuda. This must be according to Rabbi Yehuda that you can give it as a gift. So here we see that meiser, netarevai, both of them, ma'aser sheni that is, and netarevai, are mom and hedyet that you can give as a gift. And here, obviously, you can't answer like the Gemara said before. By ma'aser sheni, the Gemara said that it was given before it was ma'aser sheni. This netarevai, though, from when it grows, it's netarevai. So it has that mom and gevoya, that status of mom and gevoya. How could you ever give it as a gift? So the Gemara answers here, Lo'olam Rab Meir. I can really tell you that this is also according to Rab Meir, and it was given before the netarevai, the status of netarevai begins. And how is that? He gave it as a gift to his friend when the fruit of the grape was very small and it's not unripe, and at that point it's not yet, doesn't have the status of netarevai yet, and that's when he gave it to his friend. So it's not yet in the category of netarevai. Or the like Rabbi Yosi, and the Chiddush here is unlike Rabbi Yosi's opinion. The Amma smader asim mipnei shu peri. That's the smader when it's unripe grapes. it still has the Kidushin of Neter Avai already, because it's already considered to be a fruit. So again, there's no Raya from here. But the Gemara now brings another Mishnah, Toshaman, another Mishnah we see that the Ma'aser Sheni has a status of Mammon Hedyet. Not like the Stam Mishnah we brought before, based on what Bisil said, that it's Mammon Hektish. Because the Mishnah here says, Moshe Chaimenu Ma'aser B'Sela, a person did the kinyan of Meshicha from his friend, and the deal was that he's going to pay one sela for this Ma'aser Sheni. That's what they made up, and he made the kinyan of Meshicha for this. But he didn't get a chance to redeem it, in other words, to actually pay that sela, to redeem it, to buy it or to get it, until the price went up double. Now it's 2. So the question is, do you say that because he did Meshicha already, so therefore that price that he made up in the beginning remains, he already acquired it with that price, or no? Says the Mishnah, Noisan Sela, so he only has to pay one Sela, what they made up in the beginning, Umistakar Sela, Besela, and he gains one Sela, Ma'aser Sheni Shalai, because this Ma'aser Sheni is already his. He already acquired it before with Meshicha. The fact that the price went up later, so he doesn't have to pay to redeem that extra Sela now. So here we see a Mishnah, a Stam Mishnah, that's saying regarding Ma'aser Sheni, you redeem it with Meshicha, not with money. Says the Gemara Mani, who is this Mishnah going according to? Rab Meir, if you would say it's Rab Meir's opinion that says that the Ma'aser Sheni has a status of Mammon Gavoya, it's like Hektish, it belongs to the Eibishter. Amai Mistake B'Sela. So why in this case, if you only acquired it with Meshicha and then the price went up, do I say that the Meshicha is Kaina and you don't have, the kinyan is not with Kesef? You don't go by the value of the Kesef that you didn't give yet. But it doesn't the pasuk say by hektish v'nosan as a kesef v'kamloi Amar Achmana. The Torah says that you have to give money kesef, and only then could you redeem from hektish. So the same thing should apply to Ma'aser Sheni, which is compared to hektish. It's Mammon Gavaya. You should only be able to redeem it with money. So if you didn't pay the money yet and the price went up, you should have to give that extra sela. Ella says the Gemara, Lav, don't you think La'olam Lav Rabbi Yehuda? This has to be Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says Ma'aser Sheni is not compared to hektish; it's Mammon Hedyet, and therefore here, just like by a Hedyet, you kind of the paid is through Meshicha alone. The kinyan took effect already; it's yours. The fact that the price went up doesn't change what you already acquired before. So here we have a Stam Mishnah which goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. So this is the problem of the Gemara now. Before the Gemara began and said that we have a Stam Mishnah like Rab Meir, Rab Beis Hillel, who is considered to be a Stam Mishnah that says like Rab Meir that Ma'aser Sheni is Mammon Hedyet, and here we have a Stam Mishnah saying that it's Mammon Hektish. Says the Gemara, La'olam Rabbi Yehuda. You're right, really, this is Rabbi Yehuda. This Mishnah here is a Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, but V'hacha Chad Stame. Over here, this Mishnah that says like Rabbi Yehuda, this is one Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, but V'hacha Trei Stame. But over here, the two, we have this Stam Mishnah that was quoted before, that is the Stam Mishnah like Rab Meir. This is brought in Mishnayos twice, in 2 different places. Rabbi brought it in the Mishnah twice. One time it's brought in Seides Royim, in Masechta Ma'aser Sheni, and another time it's brought in Masechta Idias. It's actually brought a 3rd time as well. Yeah, I believe in Masechta Peya, but that the Gemara doesn't count as the 3rd time because they're both in Seides Royim. So because this is a Stam Mishnah like Rab Meir, which Rabbi brought twice in Mishnayos, so therefore that's stronger than the one Stam Mishnah that we have here according to Rabbi Yehuda. But the Gemara doesn't accept this. V'i stama. If there is a Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, v'i stama dafke mali chat stama mali trei stama. If we see that Rabbi was specific in having a Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, and that's always the indication that we pass like this, and therefore he left it dafke without a name to know that the psak din is like that. So then what difference does it make if you have 1 time Stam or twice Stam? There's a reason why Rebbe put this as a Stam Mishnah even 1 time. So that should still be a raya that you pass like Rabbi Yehuda. So we still have our problem here that you have the Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Meir and Stam Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda. No, but still, true, there's another Stam Mishnah, but over here, the Stam Mishnah that's like Rabbi Meir, we're going to pass like this Mishnah, Hoyel utnan bepchirte kevosei. Since We have this as a stam mishnah in Masechta Idias, which is considered to be bechirta. It's the chosen from the Mishnayos, because the word Idias in one shot means that these are the Adios. These are the or Idias that could also actually mean the best. But Adios means that this is the testimony of the Chachamim, that they said that these were the chosen halachas, that the halachas like this. So the stam mishnah in Masechta Idias is like Rab Meir, that says that Meiser is Mammon Gavoya, like it said before, or Meiser, that Meiser is Mammon Gavoya, like Beis Hillel said.